we're seeing is just the early days of what AI could actually do.
AI for us is a tool.
So we train AI systems that are able to do different tasks in healthcare, agriculture, on and on.
Africa is young. Africa is innovative.
Africa has unique challenges.
Western companies, big tech companies, aren't as invested in our problems and our unique experiences. So there's an opportunity for Africans to build our own data sets, to build our AI model.
I forget we're in Africa sometimes. I forget we're Africans. Most of the things are not built with us in mind. So we have to find our way to interact and to know what role that we play in that space.
We believe in artificial intelligence and we know that it's working and it's really helping us.
There is great promise, but also great fear.
There's no need to fear it. And as long as there is humans behind the technology, we're going to all enhance or embrace this superpower enabling technologies.
Good evening and welcome to News Track on Channels Television. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Our top stories this hour. The heavy security presence at the national headquarters of the PDP as the former vice chairman, PDP North Central, Mr. Abdulrahman Mohammed, resumes at the party's acting national chairman in Abuja. Mr. Mohammed and his supporters had earlier gathered at the FCT office of the PDP, where he addressed them that he will be taking over as the acting national chairman. Mr. Abdulrahman had declared acting national chairman of the PDP by the Samuel Anyanwu-led National Working Committee, and that's after it announced the suspension of the party's national chairman, Umar Damagum, and the national publicity secretary, Debo Ologwagba. Recall that the national chairman of the PDP, Umar Damagum, and some members of the National Working Committee had announced the suspension of the national secretary of the PDP, Mr. Samuel Anyanwu, the national organizing secretary, Mr. Umar Bature, and other principal officers of the party. In a swift reaction, Mr. Anyanwu led another faction of the PDP National Working Committee to suspend the national chairman, Umar Damagum, the national publicity secretary, Debo Ologwagba, and 4 other principal officers of the party. And while the Samuel Anyanwu-led acting national chairman resumed at the national headquarters of the PDP, Mr. Damagum and members of other parties also did. And the call for the resignation of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, the APC, Professor Tentawe Yilwata, has received serious opposition from the Northern Nigeria Youth Leaders Forum. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the national president of the forum, Malam Murtala Gamji, says that those calling for Professor Yilwata's resignation are not representing genuine interest of members of the All Progressives Congress, the APC. The forum insists that those behind the call lack the moral and political standing to make such a demand. The pro-APC group, the All Progressives Congress Youth Solidarity Network, led by Comrade Danesi Momo Prince, had on Friday issued a 2-week ultimatum to Professor Tentawe Yilwata to resign or face mass action.
We are calling on all those kind of youth that their problem is to criticize those that are doing well for this country. We are calling on him to stop playing with a fire, because anybody that temper with this kind of leader, the national chairman, or even Mr. President and his NSA, we will not allow it, because these are people that mean well for Nigerians. These are people that mean well for this country, and they are performing well. If you have advice, you can advise them. But for you to say you are coming to organize protests, then we will show you that we on the street. It's a sponsored protest. We'll show you that we on the street more than you, and we are waiting for them. They will never do that by the grace of God.
The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Foreign Affairs, Oluwole Oke, has reacted to the threats by the United States President Donald Trump to invade Nigeria amid allegations of Christian genocide. Honorable Oke also insists that it is against global practice for the U.S. to threaten the sovereignty of Nigeria. He believes that Nigeria will meet the U.S. halfway and the issue will be resolved. He further says the parliament awaits an update from the executive arm to know the next line of action to take. He was speaking on our political program with Terry Ikumi.
It's against, global practice for one country to threaten sovereignty of another country. It's outside the protocols, understandings, agreements, United Nations that's put in place. So I can tell you that the government will deal with this issue. The worst was, hence, on the RAND conference table where people shake hands at the end of the day. So, but I don't think this will get to that. And I told you earlier that this is just a mere standing call. I can tell you that very soon all these issues will disappear because the American government is looking for something and they will meet at midpoint. And as a committee, what we are doing is that, relating with the Foreign Affairs Ministry to have an update from them, which form the basis of further legislative actions. So we oversight the executive. What we asked the executive to do, have they done it? Yes, they have done it. If they have not done it, then it comes back to us. For us to tarry a bit and allow the executive to come back to us to give us an update how far they've gone. And then if there is need for us, then we'll do the needful.
And for the full interview, please watch Political Paradigm on Tuesday at 2 p.m. and 11 p.m. The National Inland Waterways Authority has launched plans to develop the Jabi Lake, situated in the nation's capital, Abuja, into a world-class tourist center as part of efforts to attract investments into the country. Fielding questions from journalists in Abuja after an assessment tour of the lake, the managing director of the agency, Mr. Bola Oyebamiji, says the popular Jabi Lake is a potential tourist attraction which will no longer be allowed to lie fallow. He explains that the agency is working in collaboration with some private investors to reinvent the Jabi Lake.
We are here today to develop, to add value, and to modernize our right-of-way of Jabi Lake, which of course is one of the assets of the federal government, by the way, inland waterways. So that's why we are here today. We are going to collaborate with other agencies to see that this place is developed to a world standard. That's in line with the Hope agenda of our Mr. President. And at the same time, is in line with the beautiful work of the Honorable Minister of FCT. We are partnering with a private enterprise to make sure that we develop this place to a tourist center, world class, that can be compared with anyone in the world. And we are going to start immediately after due collaborations with other agencies.
The Bauchi state government has commenced the rehabilitation of the special hospital at a cost of 19 billion naira. During the groundbreaking, Governor Bala Mohammed stated that his administration remains committed to improving healthcare services across the state. He also said that all 323 primary healthcare centers across the state have been revitalized and equipped with modern facilities. The governor says the goal is to ensure that every district in the state has at least one functional hospital. Our correspondent Hajira Aliyu reports.
Members of Bauchi State House Assembly. The Bauchi State Specialist Hospital, built in 2014, has over the years faced several challenges, including epileptic power supply, leaking roofs, inadequate equipment, and other issues that have hindered effective healthcare delivery.
We are and respected
In response to the problems, the state government has awarded a contract worth over 19 billion naira for the rehabilitation and upgrade of the hospital with a completion period of 1 year. The Commissioner for Health explains that the governor has significantly improved funding for the health sector, which has positively impacted some of the state's health indices.
The maternal mortality rate, which was over 1,000, has been reduced per 100,000 of women of childbearing age, has been reduced to 382.
Governor Mohammed believes the intervention is necessary to address the lingering challenges facing the hospital, adding that 30% of the project cost has already been paid as a mobilization fee.
Many of the structures at the special hospitals have been overstretched and deteriorated. Hence, the state government has decided to totally rehabilitate this all-important health facility, which is a tertiary center for all of us, including some other states within the sub-region. And so that it will become a hospital that will be in charge of medical training, other healthcare professionals, and other services in research and clinical services.
Following the speeches, Governor Mohammed, assisted by the Deputy Governor, performs the foundation laying ceremony to officially mark the commencement of the project. Meanwhile, a temporary site has been provided to ensure the hospital continues its operations during the rehabilitation period. Hajara Aliyu, Channels Television News.
And to other stories, a coalition of civil society organizations under the umbrella of the Coalition of Civil Rights Activists have described the 15% import duty on refined petroleum products as a watershed decision in the annals of Nigeria's history that will finally put an end to the dumping of substandard petrol. Addressing a news conference in Abuja, the convener, Mr. Gabi Emmanuel, says the tariff is not a revenue grab, but a strategic move to shield Nigeria's budding domestic refineries from predatory underpricing by foreign importers. The coalition has asked the National Assembly to fast-track social compensation packages, including targeted tax relief and cash transfers to cushion vulnerable households.
They don't start, they just won't start.
To President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his bold and special decision to approve a 15% import duty on refined petroleum products, a measure that we regard as exceptional and remarkable, ever to be seen in the history of Nigeria's economy. Apparently, this courage to enact policies that reconfigure an already existing economic habits came from a vision we considered to be more than just technocratic calculation. It demanded a sense of political fortitude that bears moral clarity, a willingness to place the long-term interest of a nation highly above short-term political convenience. Indeed, Mr. President has shown precisely these attributes. Moreover, it is necessary to state with both candor and conviction that the import duty is not merely an extractive financial instrument, rather it is a strategic lever designed to catalyze industrial revitalization, to create jobs, and to secure energy sovereignty for the Nigerian people.
When Newstrack returns in a moment, the Lagos State government has announced plans to automate the approval process of telecom infrastructure. Please join us again. Welcome back to the news at 5. It is an exemplary case of unity and strength in diversity in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, as dignitaries from far and near gathered at the Mahmoud Ribadu Square to celebrate the rich cultural heritage of the people of Igbo extraction and identify with the developmental goals of Governor Maruf Intiri-led administration. Speaking at the event, the Adamawa state Governor Maruf Intiri commended the Igbo people residing in the state for their contribution to the development of the area and pledged to involve them in the administration of the state through political appointments.
The Ribadu Square in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, is filled to capacity with a colorful display of the rich cultural heritage of the Igbo people. The celebration of the Igbo Day in Adamawa State now transcends an ethnic event, as it is also an occasion to strengthen the bonds of unity among the various ethno-cultural groups that reside in the state. Governor Umar Fintiri, represented by his deputy, acknowledges the positive role of the Igbo community in the socio-economic development of the state.
You have become part of us in Adamawa State. Continue to do the activities that will bring development. Let's live at peace with one another, and let's put our hands together as citizens of Nigeria to bring development not just in Adamawa State but in Nigeria.
The Eze Indibo, the third of Adamawa State, in his address pledged the commitment of the Igbo people to promoting peace and development in the state while appealing for unity.
The governor we have is the one uniting the Igbos. I would have lived here, but because of the structure you are creating this Adamawa. My mates that come here that live, they say, had even they know that Adamawa will be like this, they will not go. Some of them are coming back.
With the conferment of Igbo traditional titles on non-Igbos, some of the title holders from Adamawa eulogize the impact of the contributions of the Igbos in the state.
Seeing us here as non-Igbos, this will tell you that it all centered at social cohesion. And I can tell you that the Igbo community, they are very good people. You cannot see them in any form of crime or criminality. And we are proud to identify ourselves with them.
This is the Igbo Day, the best Igbo Day I've ever organized because of the unity. People have forgotten the tribal. People have forgotten the unity. We are now becoming one. I believe it will continue. It's good for our own living as a country. It's good for us and it's good for our future children.
They've been very fundamentally incremental in terms of economy and commerce. They've participated actively in the business of Adamawa State and have developed the economy of Adamawa State in no small measure.
High point of the event is the blessing and cutting of the yam, traditionally signifying the harvest period. This year's Igbo festival signifies the unity and strength of the Igbo nation and their diversity in the development of not only Adamawa State but the country at large.
In the world of business, the Lagos state government has announced plans to automate the approval process for telecommunication infrastructure through the launch of a new digital platform known as a Telecommunication Infrastructure Regulatory System by February next year. This announcement was made by the General Manager of the Lagos State Infrastructure Maintenance Regulatory Agency, Oyekomi Elegushi. In a statement issued today, Mr. Elegushi explains that the new system will ensure that all telecommunication infrastructure projects in Lagos comply with established regulations and standards. He also says the CIRS platform will ensure that all telecom infrastructure projects in Lagos comply with established standards while streamlining the process of securing permits for masts, towers, and right-of-way for fiber optic cables. The role of financial record keepers in a digital economy took center stage over the weekend as the Institute of Capital Market Registrars held their 14th annual conference and presidential investiture right here in Lagos. The event brought together key regulators and industry leaders to discuss how to leverage technology to build investor confidence and unlock global value.
We have conferences like this.
The Oriental Hotel in Victoria Island was a convergence point for Nigeria's capital market elite as the Institute of Capital Market Registrars held its 14th annual conference.
The theme of this year's conference is Unlocking Global Value, the evolving role of capital market registrars in trust, efficiency, and innovation. The theme is designed to spotlight the evolution of registrars from traditional record keepers to strategic partners, shaping the future of global markets. It emphasizes registrars' expanding role in building confidence, fostering innovation, and deepening investor engagement, ultimately positioning them as architects of resilience, transparency, and sustainable growth. Thank you, sir.
Keynote speaker, Mr. Alake Olakunle of Dangote Industries, emphasized that trust and transparency are the backbone of any thriving capital market.
I challenge every registrar here today to see themselves not only as record keepers, but as architects of Nigeria's future capital market. Together, let us unlock the global value that lies within our reach.
The conference also featured high-level discussants, including the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Mamatimi Agama, represented by Mr. Ajomale.
Change is coming. Times are changing significantly. Indeed, there was a prediction that this industry has been taken over by blockchain and by other technology that's coming through. But there's still a lot for us to do. And there's still a lot for registrars and roles for registrars to play. I would encourage you, on behalf of the DG and on behalf of all regulators, to explore those areas.
And the role of registrars as a backbone of the capital market is highlighted by Dr. Tony Sani.
Registrars act as trusted record keepers between issuers, investors, and regulators, maintaining not just shareholder registers, but processing corporate actions, managing transfers and mandates. Now, their role underpins the transparency and investor confidence in the financial ecosystem. So if anything goes wrong with their records and we cannot trust their records entirely, everything collapses.
A key highlight of the event was the investiture of the President-elect, Dr. Mrs. Catherine Nwosu, the Chief Executive Officer of Africa Prudential PLC. She was sworn in as the fourth President and Chairman of the ICMR Council by the outgoing President.
I stand before you today, deeply honored and humbled. The Council members of ICMR, thank you so much for all your support. I feel honored and humbled to accept this responsibility of serving as the President and Chairman of Council of this great institute, the Institute of Capital Market Registrars, ICMR.
The challenge laid bare by the ICMR is clear. The future of the Nigerian capital market hinges on its ability to embrace innovation, ensure transparency, and simplify processes for both domestic and international investors.
At 5 this hour, thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu.